What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I hope everybody's having a great day. The NFL is getting to work. It may be the parade day for the Eagles, but everybody else is doing some work, and we have some breaking news. Raheem Morissette has been released by the Miami Dolphins, 32-year-old Raheem Morissette, who surprisingly this past year was not a good year. He had a year, even though it wasn't a good year, it was still better than Zeke Elliott's. He had 278 yards on 85 carries for a 3.3 yard average. What's crazy is he's literally dropped off the face of the earth because in 2023, he had 1,012 yards at 4.8 yards per carry. The year before, he was 4.9 yards per carry with 891 yards. And this is a guy who has not, he was basically a journeyman until about 2017. Actually, until really about 2018. He basically played for Miami, Baltimore, Cleveland, Tampa, Chicago, San Francisco. San Francisco, he kind of made a little bit of a name for himself. He was averaging about, he had his first 700-yard season in 2019 and 500 the next year. Didn't play the year after that. And then Miami picked him up where he had 891 yards and 1,012. I'm not suggesting that this is a guy that we need to go ahead and get by any stretch of the imagination. But you see that the Miami Dolphins are a team that's actually on the move right now, trying to figure out what they're going to be. They do have Mike McDaniels down there, who was one of the hot coordinators that was hired, who, quite frankly, I'm kind of surprised that they didn't fire him. But they're trying to make some changes to make the team better. Now, here's where it gets to be interesting is you're hearing people say that it's time to go ahead and get rid of Tyreek Hill. This is the reason why I bring it up. Because Tyreek Hill is an awesome weapon, one of the fastest people in the NFL. And unfortunately, he got traded from Kansas City to Miami, where everybody thought for sure they'd be Super Bowl champions. The question would be is, what would Tyreek Hill go for? So this is an article here coming out of Miami by Josh Holtz. Tyreek Hill's experience in Miami was fun to watch, but after a Week 18 meltdown, I think it's time for the Dolphins and the Cheetah to divorce permanently. I still remember when the Dolphins traded for Tyreek Hill. Jake and I were doing a podcast and went from a hypothetical trade scenario to an AFC East team quickly became, holy shit! This dude is going to be a Dolphin in a matter of minutes. It felt like fever dream. The fastest player in the entire league is going to be a Dolphin. Then the trade happened, and Hill proved that he is more than just a Pat Mahomes merchant. While Mahomes proved the same, in Miami, Hill almost broke Megatron's record of 1,964 yards set in 2012. And the Dolphins were in the playoffs for back-to-back season. Life was as good as ever if you were a Dolphin fan. Then the wheels fell off. And as the wheels were falling off, he showed who he really is. A ticking time bomb, getting paid a plethora of money to cash notes. Takes himself out of most meaningful games. Took himself out of most meaningful games of the year. Yes, I know the Broncos made it meaningless, but still unacceptable. We understand the frustration, maybe not the same extent. I'm not putting my body on the line. I'm emotionally invested. And to see players grit through a wrist injury or other potential season-ending injuries to play every game, while the quarterback isn't allowed and able to suit up in the most critical part of the season, yeah, I'd be pissed too. And yet, the I'm out of tantrum, coupled with the quitting on the team, makes me feel like this can't be fixed. Maybe it's because I'm much older or wiser than I was years ago. Players say things that bother me, and I can't let them go. But it's not about whether I can get over it. Can guys like Zach Seller, Tyron Armstead move past it? Was his public apology to Tua and the rest of the team anything more than just show? Can Mike McDaniels keep the ship afloat with Hill in the locker room? I don't have those answers. And if I'm a team like the Dolphins with the head coach and general manager hanging on by a thread, you really get rid of your best player? He may be the best player, to be honest. Is that really what's best for the team? Most importantly, what might you get in return? So, interesting thing is, right now, we're seeing a lot of really good players, at least name players, that could be on the move. Let's count. We got Deebo Samuels wanting to get out of San Francisco. We got Tyreek Hill wanting to get out of Miami. You got the T. Higgins, who we're not sure if Cincinnati, which has been, mostly a cheap team, wants to go ahead and pay T. Higgins. You got Cooper Kupp, who they're going to move. They're going to try and move him real quick. If they can't move him, I guess they'll cut him. That'll be out there, as well as a lot of other guys. So you start looking at this. Oh, Devontae Adams. Yeah, the Jets are making wholesale changes, and you kind of have to feel for Devontae Adams, although some people seem to think that he would be reunited in Green Bay. When you go chasing, places, and sometimes they say, be careful what you wish for because you might just get it. And that, going to another team and what seemingly is going to be something great sometimes doesn't work out that way. For Tyreek Hill, I can remember him when he first got to Miami talking about how great Tua was in comparison to Pat Mahomes. And I'm betting that if his older self now could talk to the younger self before, he would probably wish that he had stayed in Kansas City, or he would have urged himself to stay in Kansas City because it was better there. And you have to think that Devontae Adams going from Green Bay to the Raiders and then going to the Jets to be with Aaron Rodgers, that he's probably looking back at that and saying, God, I wish I had stayed in Green Bay. That, the money is great, but I've literally been through hell. And you also have to wonder how much wear and tear and taking off my body in good years am I losing? It's going to be interesting to see. There's players out there that could definitely help the Cowboys. If the Cowboys were to snag one of these receivers, oh my God, we'd instantly be better. If we were to go ahead and get ourselves another running back to go with Rico, would be tremendous. If we ended up going and trying to get somebody like Myles Garrett, and instead of us worrying about the dollars and cents and just saying whatever it takes to get these guys on our team, let's do it, we'd be a really good team. But we'll see if the Cowboys actually do any of it. Peace.